Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I have a very big Disney Parks news update for you. As you can see, I am dealing with the rain. It's almost like I'm in Florida because it just rains randomly now here in SoCal. We've been getting these weird thunderstorms. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about a lot of Disney news happening. There's been a lot of announcements these past few weeks. Still don't know why they don't announce these things at D23, this massive convention that has a panel where they can announce these things. But I mean, hey, Disney's a very interesting company. So let's talk about all that and more in today's video. So how about you and I dive right in. Before we get started though, if you're new to the channel and you love these updates from Disney or vlogs from the parks like Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, Universal Studios, been covering Super Nintendo World, all that fun stuff, consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't miss out on. Ooh, that thunder. That's nice. Let's just start off with the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Dumbo. I'm talking about the price hikes. Recently, just in the past day, at the time of filming this video, Disney has increased the price for their theme parks, and it's not just the theme park tickets that went up. It's a lot of like the parking situations, those have gone up. A lot of the food and beverages in the park have gone up. And then the lightning lane and extra lightning lane purchases have gone up as well. So an overall price increase across the board. In general, at the Disneyland Resort, all the tickets went up about $10 for one day, one park tickets. And then same with the multi-day tickets as well. They still have a base tier, which is now called Tier 0. And it's $104, and those are available on like the slower times of the year, which actually are not slow because then more people go on the cheaper days, and then it means that the park is still just as busy as it is during a peak day. So you really don't have any sort of winnings there besides saving a little bit money at the front gate. And then the tickets go up to $179 for one day, one park. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot. We're nearing the $200 mark for one day, one park. That's pretty insane. Standard theme park parking did not change at the Disneyland Resort, but some of the valet options and front gate options have changed. Those went up significantly as well. So you're going to be paying a little bit more if you want to park your car a little bit closer to the escalator, which, hey, you're going to be walking anyway. You might as well just park normally and save some money there. Just keep this in mind though when you do buy tickets to Disneyland or Walt Disney World. The Disney website should be the last option that you go to purchase tickets. You should be purchasing tickets from some third-party sites like AAA or Getaway Today. They offer tickets to Disneyland and Walt Disney World at a cheaper price, and it saves you a few bucks there. So the last resort should be purchasing the tickets on the Disney websites, because you're going to be paying the full top dollar amount on Disneyland.com or WaltDisneyWorld.com. I mean, they've been doing this every single year for years now. I mean, we've been seeing price increases across the board at the Disney parks for more than 10 years, and it seems like it's just a normal thing. Again, it's not a surprise. This isn't a shocker. A lot of people on social media make it a really big deal in the sense of like, oh my goodness, it's happening. I can't believe it. And it's like, well, I can believe it because they're going to keep doing it until people just stop going. And lately, the parks have been so incredibly busy. I mean, Disneyland and Walt Disney World have been packed. So there's no reason why they need to stop raising the prices. Business-wise, it makes sense. If you see all these people in the park that are spending money and that are still coming and enjoying their stay, well, sure, let's just keep raising the price. What is that ceiling? And I don't think there really is a ceiling for entertainment like that. I mean, you got to remember, during like these big depression moments in time, people still went to the movie theater to go watch a movie when they really had no money at all. So I feel like Disney's in that weird category of just never being, never hitting a ceiling. I think people are always going to pay to go to Disney. I think people are always going to pay to go to theme parks in general because it's a form of entertainment that we all really enjoy and will pay top dollar to experience. And maybe I could be wrong, and down the road they will hit a ceiling and people will just say, screw this, I'm not doing Disney. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I mean, they're going to keep pushing the bar higher and higher and higher because the parks are packed. And I think what's going to happen is, instead of families going maybe 4 times a year, they're going to cut it down to 3 times a year or 2 times a year. Ooh, the rain's getting heavier. I love when it rains. I wish it rained more often here in California. It really doesn't rain all that much, and I definitely take every little moment of it. But yeah, I mean, the families are going to go less. if it's going to be more expensive to go to Disneyland and Walt Disney World, they'll just go less in a year instead of their normal amount of time. So they're still going to go. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon where the family of four is going to be like, well, we're never going again. I think they're going to go. They're just going to go less often. But Disney doesn't care, because you multiply that by how many families of four in the country and around the world, they're still going to have a pretty good attendance number. And I think that they're not really going to see any sort of dip in their attendance figure anytime soon. And I don't think, clearly they don't see it, because they're still increasing the prices of not just the tickets, but everything. Ooh. All the gods are angry by all the celebrating. And since we're on the subject of price, I wanted to mention the hotels as well on the Disneyland Resort property. Right now, the Pixar Place Hotel is going through, well, actually, it's the Paradise Pier Hotel is going through a transformation to the Pixar Place Hotel. And you would think that they would discount the hotel rates because of this massive renovation going on. They're actually not. So the prices for that hotel are still roughly in the $500 a night range, which is very pricey. I mean, $500 a night on average for a base room is a lot of money. Check the neighboring hotels, guys. If you're staying at the Disneyland Resort for a week, definitely check out the neighboring hotels. A lot of the hotels near Disneyland are just walking distance to and from the parks, and you can save quite a bit of money by staying off property. Sure, it's convenient to stay on property, but remember, the only hotel that's connected to one of the parks is the Grand Californian, and that one ranges from like $600 to $700 a night. The other hotels, you have to walk through downtown Disney to get to the Esplanade, and really a lot of the hotels around the parks are roughly the same distance. So definitely check the neighboring hotels, check Getaway Today, check AAA if you have a AAA membership. You can save a lot of money on hotels, park tickets, and a bunch of other things. One thing I did want to talk about before we move on to the next subject is the Lightning Lane. The Lightning Lane prices have gone up as well, and now they're variable priced. So that means on any given day, if the park is really busy at a certain time of season, they can change the price to a higher price. So just be on the lookout for that if you're purchasing Lightning Lane. I've said before in the past that I think Lightning Lane is a little too cheap because too many people end up buying it, and then it bogs up the Lightning Lane line, and then it really doesn't benefit you all that much, and it ends up creating a bad guest experience overall. But with that said, yes, the Lightning Lane price is going up slightly, and the individual Lightning Lane prices have gone up as well. Like, for example, we've seen Rise of the Resistance go up to $25 per person per day if you want that extra add-on, which means that's $100 for a family of four to go on one ride. That, my friends, is insane. I would never do it. I would rather wait in line if I was with 3 other people to just duke it out in the line and say, you know what, hey, we're gonna save the $25, we're gonna use it towards food later on in the day, and just wait in line. It's okay. Especially for the families that are there for multiple days. There's no need to purchase Lightning Lane if you're at Walt Disney World or Disneyland for multiple days, like for a week or so. You're gonna have a chance to go on the attraction. It's different when you're there for like a short period of time or just for the day and you wanna try to get as many things done as possible. That's a different story. But for most people that are on vacation, don't spend $25 to ride Rise of the Resistance. It's a wonderful attraction. It's one of the best in the world. But I would not pay $25 on top of the 20-something plus dollars that you paid to get Lightning Lane in the first place. That's silly. Like I was saying, it's not just the tickets that are increasing, it's just across the board. And for example, at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at the Droid Depot, it's now more expensive to build a droid. Before it was $100. Now I believe it's $120. And then at Savi's Workshop, in order to build a lightsaber, the old price, I believe, was $200, and now it's $250, or no, it was $220, I believe, and then now it's $250. Moving on though, the holidays at the Disneyland Resort are coming back. They start November 11th and go till January 8th. The holidays at Walt Disney World also start on November 11th, so that's really exciting, and all of the normal goodies will be coming back to both coasts. So here in California, the Festival of the Holidays at California Adventure will kick off again, so we'll have that food festival back, and they're bringing back the tasting lanyard, so that's going to be nice. They have all the entertainment over there as well. I actually like the holidays at California Adventure just because there's so many different entertainment venues happening at once. I mean, they have the Navidad thing going, they have a bunch of bands, they have a bunch of characters out. I mean, it's really something special over there at California Adventure. So if you've never done Festival of the Holidays at California Adventure during the holidays, you should totally check it out. It's a lot of fun. And of course, at Disneyland, they're bringing back a lot of the crowd favorites like a Christmas fantasy parade, Believe in Holiday Magic, and of course, the meet and greets with Santa and all that kind of fun stuff. Also kicking off in November at Walt Disney World is Fantasmic. Now, Disney didn't release the official date when Fantasmic is returning, just the opening month, and that is November. So if you're out there in November, hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to check out Fantasmic. I have yet to see Fantasmic out at Walt Disney World, and I'll be traveling to Walt Disney World very, very soon. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed I'll be able to see it because, yeah, I want to check out their version of Fantasmic. I've seen it online a few times, but I want to see it in person. I want to see what it's like, especially because you sit in a big old amphitheater out there, so that's kind of neat. Definitely different than the Disneyland version. I feel like the Disneyland version might end up being a little bit more charming for me, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see Fantasmic, and I'm glad it's returning to Hollywood Studios out of Florida. Let's talk about Magic Band Plus, because they are finally coming to the Disneyland Resort. For a while there, I thought they were never going to bring Magic Band to the Disneyland Resort because of the ergonomics, but lo and behold, they are bringing Magic Band to the property, and it will start October 19th for Magic Key holders, DVC members, and cast members. Then on October 26th, everyone else will be able to purchase a Magic Band Plus. When they launch at Disneyland, there will be 5 designs exclusively for the Disneyland Resort, so that'll be pretty neat. And they're cross-compatible between resorts, so that means you could use it at both Disney World and at Disneyland. And remember, the Magic Band has a few interactive elements built in. You'll be able to do the Bounty Hunter experience at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. There's going to be the light up feature on the Magic Band Plus during the nighttime spectaculars, and it also has some haptic feedback in it, so it'll buzz in certain areas of the park. It's kind of like, they call it unlocking more magic and storytelling. So it's going to be interesting to see how they roll out more of those interactive elements. I'm thinking they're going to do that with the treehouse, because the treehouse is still under construction at Disneyland, by the way, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they build in some interactivity there, because it would be a pretty awesome opportunity to do that. The Magic Band Plus starts at $44.99. You do get an annual pass holder discount. At the initial, I think it's like $10 off, so that's really nice, and I think they get rid of that after the initial rollout. So if you are wanting to purchase a Magic Band Plus, yeah, definitely jump on that immediately. I wanted to mention a couple of refurb things just as a little refresher if you're traveling to Disneyland. Remember, It's a Small World closes October 24th to transform into the It's a Small World holiday. It'll reopen on November 11th at the premiere of the holidays at the Disneyland Resort. The Matterhorn bobsleds will be returning October 14th. Over in Adventureland, Indiana Jones will be closing November 14th for its refurbishment. Unfortunately, Indiana Jones needs a lot of refurbishments throughout the year because there's so many practical effects in that attraction, and unfortunately that's what it's plagued with. So I think what they should be doing, hopefully, in an extended refurb is fixing a lot of those effects, maybe updating them so they're more efficient, so the ride doesn't have to go down as often. So fingers crossed that maybe this is that refurbishment. But yeah, once again, the ride will be closing November 14th. Now let's move on to the 100th anniversary celebration. And that's not the 100th anniversary of Disneyland. A lot of people are actually getting confused about that. Disneyland is not 100 years old just yet. That will be in 2055. That's when the resort turns 100. This is an anniversary of the company in general. It's been 100 years. Can you believe it? That's pretty insane. That's pretty awesome that a company can stick around that long and still be just incredibly successful. It really is a huge achievement. And they're celebrating in a big way at the Disneyland Resort. We really don't know how they're going to be celebrating at all the other parks around the world, which they will be doing. We just don't know too many details. But at Disneyland, they're going to be kicking off the celebration with some cool things. The celebration kicks off January 27th, and the castle is going to look really nice because they're going to deck the castle out with a few new buntings and little drapes and all that kind of fun stuff, just kind of around the castle. It almost looks like an iridescent kind of thing, but we'll find out the final product once they reveal the castle. I don't think the castle is going to go under scaffolding or anything like that. I think it's going to be a simple overnight project to deck the castle out. They're also adding 2 new fountains in front of the castle, which will be kind of fun. And I'm sure they'll interact during nighttime spectaculars, because that new fireworks show is also coming to the park for the 100th anniversary. In addition to the new fireworks show, a new World of Color show will be premiering as well. And remember, the fireworks show, just as a heads up, it's only going to be on select nights. It's not going to be a nightly thing, and they make that very clear in the Disney Parks blog that this will be a thing that happens probably on the weekends. I am putting my money on mainly weekends and just busy periods of time. World of Color, on the other hand, will probably be nightly, since World of Color doesn't cost them as much money to run as a fireworks show does. Fireworks cost a lot of money, and we all know Disney, they're going to try to save a dime when they can. So World of Color, though, will be nightly. Fireworks will be every so often, mainly weekends and during the week on busy times. So just keep that in mind if you are coming to the resort on vacation to see those two new shows. Some really exciting news, though, is that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at the Disneyland Resort is opening January 27th as well, which was that was very surprising. I was not expecting that attraction to be ready to go now. It's not that far off, which is very, very cool to see. I'm glad that our contractors here in California put the pedal to the metal and got the attraction done. And this is like a fun little fact. They started construction on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway after Tron started construction at Walt Disney World, and they've finished Mickey and Mickey's Runaway Railway before Tron is open. That's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. And Mickey and Minnie's here at Disneyland is not just the attraction. It actually sits in a multi-purpose building. So that's pretty impressive. They were able to build an attraction and expand their facilities backstage faster than they built one roller coaster at Walt Disney World. I'm going to try my best to be there at the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I'm assuming they're going to do boarding groups when that ride opens. Those dang boarding groups. I hate the boarding groups, but it's something we have to live with, and I'm sure they're going to do that at Disneyland once that attraction opens. Now with Toontown is not going to open up on January 27th with the attraction. The land is actually going to open up later on in the spring. They're still finishing up quite a few things. And also coming in the spring is Magic Happens. That parade that was only there for a couple weeks before the park shut down for the pandemic is finally coming back, and I'm so happy that it's coming back because it really is a good parade. I like Magic Happens, so I'm glad they're bringing it back. I'm sure it took them a while because they had to obviously cast the show, and on top of that, they want to save money. They're not going to be in a hurry to bring things like that back when, one, they need to still cast it, and two, they can save money on just operating the parade. But with that said, it's nice that it's coming back, and that will be coming back in the spring. There's no official date on Toontown's return or Magic Happens' return, but I have a feeling that both of those things will be coming back at the same time. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Magic Happens and Toontown at the same time as like one big grand opening day. The 100th anniversary celebration will also include some tasty treats. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of nice tasty treats scattered throughout the resort property and at Walt Disney World. And of course, there's going to be a lot of merchandise, and I'm sure they're going to have some very cool exclusive merchandise items for the 100th anniversary that will probably sell out, and they'll have some long lines like every time they launch some unique item like that. So be on the lookout for all the merch. I'm sure a lot of it will be available on shopdisney.com, which, by the way, if you see something in the parks that's really nice and you want it but you're not able to get to the parks, go to shopdisney.com. They probably have it there, and then you don't have to worry about those crazy eBay resellers and those long lines to get a Spirit jersey or whatever. Just go online and get it, and yeah, don't buy from the eBay resellers because they're totally marking that stuff up like an astronomical amount. So yeah, just go on to shopdisney.com if you can't make it to the parks. I am crossing my fingers that the 100th anniversary celebration for all the parks is a little bit more extravagant than some of the anniversaries that we've seen as of late. You know, the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World was very lackluster. Epcot's 40th looked a little bit better than the 50th at Magic Kingdom. So that's a little better, but still, I wish they would have done a little bit more with that. Understandable though, because a lot of the park is still under construction. Because yeah, I mean, Journey of Water is still not going to be open anytime soon, and they're still building the new Communicore building, which is kind of funny because Communicore was there and then they pretty much just tore it down. Now they're rebuilding it, so that's kind of funny to watch. So in general, fingers crossed that the 100th anniversary celebration is very good. I'm looking forward to the fireworks show. They're going to showcase a lot of the Disney animation in that show, and same with World of Color. And I'm excited for just like the little surprises throughout the year, because I'm sure it's not just going to be face value what they've told us. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other things behind the scenes that they'll roll out eventually over time throughout the celebration, because I'm more than positive that they're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary for at least a year. So they're going to launch it in January, on January 27th, and it'll probably go until January in 2024. So, and that could be a good segue into the all the new attractions coming that year as well. So that's probably what they're going to lean towards. But with that, I think that is going to do it for today's video. There's a lot to go over, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that I missed. But lately, the past couple days, there's been so many news announcements, which again, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, it's weird that Disney didn't announce a lot of this stuff at D23. I mean, they had a whole convention and a panel that talks about what's coming in the future. They didn't mention any of this, so pretty odd if you ask me. I would have rather hear all these announcements at the D23 than a bunch of singing and dancing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos and the vlogs from the parks, consider subscribing, because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. Be sure to check out my Instagram page. I'll leave that link down below in the description. I post there all the time, and things that I post there usually don't end up here on the channel. So yeah, if you're not already following me on Instagram, be sure to do that. And also, I'll leave a link down for my merch store. The Ghosty hat, the Halloween merch, is still available right now. So if you want to pick up one of those, you can do that. Or you can just pick up one of my classic hoodies. It's starting to get a little cooler as we approach the holiday season. So if you want to pick up a Theme Park Obsession hoodie, you could do that by following the link down below. And of course, thank you so much to everyone that loves and supports me every single week. You guys are absolutely amazing, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I read as many comments as I can, and I'm forever grateful for everyone tuning in all the time. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is, and I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.